Good afternoon, preppers. Welcome to Goshen Prepping. There is a clear, unmistakable escalation taking place between Ukraine and Russia. And Russia is not going to settle for this, but stick to the very end because the results absolutely could be catastrophic. Let's go and jump to our first article. You may have seen this in the news. Germany to send Leopard 2 tanks to Ukraine, and U.S. expected to follow soon with its Abrams. Germany will send 2 battalions of Leopard 2 main battle tanks to Ukraine. These are serious tanks, by the way. And will allow other countries to ship German-made tanks to Kiev as well, including, like, for example, Poland. They said the decision was a result of intensive consultations between Germany's European and international partners. It has to be. And the reason it has to be is understand that the weapons we've been sending to Ukraine in the first place, practically speaking, can fall into the category of defense. As Russia's been attacking with troops, with tanks, with, of course, artillery, and even missiles. We've been actually sending things like, for example, the Javelin anti-tank missile, which is one incredible piece of equipment, can literally blow the top off a tank very easily, and have actually been very, very successful in stopping the Russian movement into Ukraine. I mean, they've been moving in, but the serious movements. Without our intervention, just the United States alone, but let's go ahead and talk about the other countries too, then this would have been, practically speaking, probably anyways, a landslide of Russian troops moving into Ukraine. So we've been sending tons of stuff there. So why now? Why a year later are we just randomly picking some tanks and giving them some tanks? There's a reason for this. Check out this article. The Center for Strategic and International Studies, is the United States running out of weapons to send to Ukraine? A little bit into the article, it actually has a table showing some of the different types of weapons we've sent to them. For example, Javelin missiles, we've sent about 8,500. Other anti-tank missiles, about 32,000. Now, what's the status of the inventory? They're saying we actually have a limited amount of Javelins and possibly limited of other anti-tank weapons. But if we scroll down to Javelins itself, look what it says. Reportedly, the United States has given about 1/3 of its inventory to Ukraine. And reports have emerged that the military has raised concerns about having enough for other conflicts. What conflicts are we talking about here? Surprisingly, August 19th armed package included another 1,000 Javelins despite our low inventory. Here's the problem. The current production rate is about 1,000 per year. We've sent them 8,500. Although the DoD is working to increase that, it may be many years before the inventory is fully replenished. And other anti-tank missiles, which are not as sophisticated, not as precise, we've sent them 32,000. So what's the problem here? The problem is twofold. First off, we're running out of Javelins. We're running out of these missiles. And as Russia continues to push into Ukraine, a time's going to be coming very shortly, mind you. They're not going to be able to stop these tanks from coming in because we don't have enough Javelins. But guess what we do have? Tanks. Not to mention German tanks too. Poland is happy to give some to Ukraine. Why? Well, Poland realizes that if they can actually keep them off in Ukraine, then it decreases the chances of the next step coming into Poland, which is going to happen if they can't stop them. What is the biggest problem? What's the second problem through this is how Russia is going to take this. Because understand, tanks, they are not defensive weapons. They are offensive weapons, potentially. And already we've seen missiles and drone attacks into Russia. It could be just a matter of time before these tanks start crossing that line. When this happens, if and when this happens, it could easily escalate and explode into World War III. Because understand that when a country, especially a country that's invading, gets to the point where it's being held back and they can't get their objectives met, it's time to step up. The Javelins were doing well, but now they're stepping up. It literally could step up enough. If Russia cannot get what they want done into Ukraine, it could step up to nuclear, which of course we don't even want to contemplate that even happening. But that is, unfortunately, and here's the moral of the story, that is the direction we're heading. So we need to prep, because in this scenario, it may simply seem like tanks are going in to help out in Ukraine. This is an escalation and could easily lead to World War III. We need to be prepared, because at home, make sure you have enough food and stockpiles, because World War III will not simply just be fought overseas, even though the battles may take place over there, maybe. Probably not. I could definitely see an attack on the United States main soil as well. But instead, I easily see massive amount of shortages, massive food prices increasing, and we have to be prepared for this.